Good morning, Sea Pines. I welcome you to the March meeting of the Board of Directors of CSA. It's only been a month since our last meeting. We're going to be giving some updates in this. But let me talk to you a little bit about what I regard as the wonders of Sea Pines. And I really hope you share some of the same feelings. This is spring. And spring break is here, and we see a lot of young people around, at least I do. They're out on the beach running, they're playing tennis, they're on long bicycle trips, they're organized. It's amazing to see them when they do their whatever sport they're doing, they do it as a group and they come here. I actually enjoy seeing something like that to young people. It reminds me of what I used to do many, many years ago. And I kind of bubble over with enthusiasm. But it's also interesting to note when I have a habit of talking to people and encouraging people to come talk to me when they see me, because I want to hear about what you like about Sea Pines, what you don't like about Sea Pines. Is there something wrong that needs to be fixed? And many of you avail yourselves of that opportunity. And I a lot of times open the conversation, even with people I don't know, and start talking about it. I had the occasion of doing that regarding this spring, and I talked to, and everybody was enthusiastic. They're happy springs here. It's a good time of the year in Sea Pines. If there's a bad time, I really don't know when that is, but all of them were very optimistic and like seeing the young people and things like that. Then I run across one person who says, "Yeah, it's nice here, but good gracious, we got all these kids here." Well, everybody has different attitudes and everybody has, different likes. But it was pleasing to me that that's only one of about 14, 15, 16 people that made the comment that way. So, but the majority of us are very positive about what we see, and I think very happy about what we see in our lives here. And again, I have a hard time determining which season is the best. And this time of the year, I look forward to the Heritage Golf Tournament. I look for the spring break because my grandkids come too. Look for the summer because we're going to have, I have the same irritation that a lot of you do with the number of visitors and the traffic issues and all of that we incur. But my goodness, it adds a different dimension to life here in Sea Pines. We have the variety of life that a lot of the places don't have. With what we see, the people who come visit us, and how many of us have houses that our families and friends want to come and be visitors in our house because we live in Hilton Head and particularly Sea Pines. So I think this is a time that I feel real good about my life in Sea Pines. I feel real good about the choice that I made, my wife and I made to come live in Sea Pines and to remain here. I'm hoping that most people feel the same way. And apparently it is the case because I'm told the real estate market, while it's weaker, is still, relatively strong, even in this time of high interest rates on mortgages and things of that nature. Let me tell you a little about CSA. Part of the way we do business, and we go to board meetings and you see reports, and if we have topic that we vote on, it's not just because it came up then and it got presented. We do workshops. And our workshops at anything that is a topic, anything that's going to be voted on, quite frankly, of any consequence, we go through and have discussions, some of which are very spirited discussions. We don't always all agree, and we're not supposed to all agree. And it's very good to get different opinions and from different viewpoints that all of the board has. But we go through these, and most recently, you will recall, I hate to raise a couple of bad subjects, but the e-bike considerations we had a couple of years ago, and then the electric battery considerations we had last year for the blowers and things of that nature. But these were workshops. They went to task force, they went to workshops, there were discussion after discussion. And when the board had reached a decision after being informed and debated and so forth, then we come to the board meeting and we proceed then to take action. You don't see much discussion at the board meeting of the topics and the arguments because we've already had those. We've knocked each other black and blue until we've got our position stated, and understood, whether it's agreed or not. So it's not a routine matter that a vote comes up and that we just make the vote without any discussion. You will see today there's going to be some encroachment agreements that we're going to vote on. Actually, these are all presented to the board members ahead of time for their review, to ask questions, comments, etc., and that they actually, give a tentative vote to be ratified at a meeting like this. Because if there's going to be any issues, we then need to go forward and discuss those and work them out. All of this to say that CSA is in what I call the people business. CSA is here to provide safety and security for our members. CSA is here because people are the most important commodity that we have. And our job is to work for the people. We do the streets, the paving, the open spaces, the care for the property. We do when hurricanes and storms come, we try to alleviate the effect the best we can. We're in the business of providing a good place to live and to try to enhance people's life. Is everything correct? Is everything perfect? No. But I presume, at least for those of us who stay here, there's more good than there is bad, or we wouldn't be here. And we will continue to try to enhance our lives of the people here. I encourage you and each one of you to continue doing what you do when you see me, whether you know me or not. Come to me. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me about a problem. I'd rather survey people one-on-one to get your opinions. I appreciate that. And some of you have said when you come to me, I hate to bother you when you're out at dinner and talk about something. I want to be bothered. This to me is a full-time job. I need your input. I care for your input, and I want it personally. So don't hesitate to stop me. And I got to tell you, there are a number of you who recognize me from these videos when you watch these meetings, and you do come up to me and you introduce yourself to me and you make your comments. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Please keep doing it. With that said, that's enough for me. I'm now going to go into more the official part of the business and stop talking. My wife says I talk too much, and I told her that's just a habit of lawyers or maybe husbands. So, all right, we go to the next item of business. We are now to look at ratifying the Board of Directors minutes meetings of February 18, 2025. You so move. Second. All in favor, raise your hands. Thank you. Any opposed? Ms. Like sign. Okay. President's remarks.
I will hold mine until the manager's reports.
Okay. Now we'll go through the management's report. Stephanie, there you are. Okay. You want to go ahead with communications?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I have a brief report for you all. The first reminder I have is for the annual meeting. This meeting will be held via live webinar on Tuesday, May 6th at 10 a.m. Proxies to establish a quorum for this meeting will be sent out the first week of April to members in good standing as of the March 10th date of record. Please be sure to keep an eye out on our weekly emails for more details about proxies, registering for the webinar, and meeting materials, including the 2024 annual report. This information will also be posted to our website at seapinesliving.com/annual meeting. Not that many need this reminder, but the 57th RBC Heritage Tournament will be taking place in Sea Pines from April 14th through the 20th. An informational email was sent out to the community earlier this month, and our resource webpage for property owners has been posted to our website. This page contains helpful information such as road restrictions, hang tag request information, FAQs, the trolley schedule, and operational updates. Be sure to check it out at seapinesliving.com/heritage. Speaking of seapinesliving.com, I'm excited to share that we are starting a significant project to revitalize our website. I'm working closely with our web developers to conduct a thorough audit of the current site and looking for ways to improve the user experience and enhance its overall appearance. Currently, we are in the process of analyzing our Google Analytics data, which provides insights into how users are interacting with our website. This will help us identify the strengths, the areas that need improvement, and pages that require updates to better serve the Sea Pines community. If you have ever been a part of a website redesign, it can be pretty strenuous, but I am looking forward to keeping you all informed of the progress and the vision for the new site. So that is all I have for you all this morning, but please let me know if you have any questions.
Anyone on the board have any questions for Stephanie? Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Okay, community infrastructure, Russell Fredericks.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, I have a brief presentation to share this morning, so just give me a moment to share that with you. Hold on one moment. Bear with me here.
I didn't recognize that, Russell.
Russell, if we need to, we can come back to you.
Yeah, let's come back. Thank you, sir.
Let me see
Okay,
if Jared Mays is ready and available.
Jared?
Hey, good
There
morning.
he
How
is.
you doing? I hope I don't have the issue sharing my screen as well. But David, I wanted to say thank you for your opening remarks, and you mentioned that we work for the people. I just wanted to kind of let the board know some of the things our maintenance department does. And I apologize, some of y'all may have seen this presentation, but I think it's a kind of a good one here to share and give everyone an idea of some of the things we do in the maintenance department. A lot of the things we do are at night or in the dark or underground, kind of kidding around, but no, I just figured it would be kind of nice to just give a rough overview of the things we do in our department. So as you can see here, we have 23 staff members that are in-house, broken up in these divisions. There's 2 in carpentry, 1.5 in fleet maintenance, 1 in lagoons, 3 in our maintenance administration, 5 in our recycling center, 4 in our roadsides, 6 in stormwater, and 2.5 in our facilities division. So I'm going to go through each of these divisions, just give kind of high level bullet points of what they're responsible for. So our sign shop and carpentry does mailbox installation and nameplate changeout, roadway signage replacement and cleaning, house number signage, and fencing as well. Our lagoons division does aquatic vegetation management. They control the water levels in the lagoons, inspect and exercise gates, valves, and risers, remove litter and debris, and this employee also helps out with our mosquito treatment. And then our debris recycling, they manage all the incoming organic vegetation, grind vegetation into mulch, deliver ground compost mulch, and separate trash and recyclable materials and manage levels of materials. These are, this is actually permitted through DHEC, so we do have a lot of regulations we have to follow. And I just want to give a shout out. These staff members do a really, really good job in this division. And also, as you see this photo here, this is the new grinder that we just recently got. And again, want to thank staff for being careful and learning this new piece of equipment. Kind of hard to tell how big it is, but it's a huge piece of equipment, and they've really done a great job with it thus far. Our roadside and open space division, they do a lot of the mulching and pine straw for ground cover. They do a lot of open space cleanup and vegetation management. They work with boardwalk sand removal, roadside backfilling, and debris cleanup. And here's some photos on the right of these gentlemen doing work throughout the community. Our stormwater division is probably one of our most critical. I think I have 2 or 3 slides in this just to kind of give an idea and show some of the pictures of these gentlemen out working. Some of the things they're responsible for is catch basin inlet repair, stormwater junction box repair, catch basin and pipe jetting / cleaning, ditch maintenance, sediment removal, and pipe inspections. I may have mentioned this before, but this photo on the left, you can kind of see a yellow thing in the water. That's actually a diver that we contract with occasionally to come in and do inspections. Some of our pipes are fully submerged all the time, so you can't really like stick a camera or stick your head over to see. So we do contract that out at times to get a better visual of pipes and see how they're doing. A little bit more on the stormwater. We do sediment removal in pipe ends, hydro seeding and stabilization to minimize erosion, and catch basin inlet clearing to ensure adequate water flow into the stormwater system. Now, I know that just sounds like a bullet point on a presentation, but just to kind of put that in perspective, there's a little over 3,000 catch basins in Sea Pines. And every time it rains, you'll see staff members out with rakes trying to rake the pine straw and things off of the catch basin inlets just to allow the water to get into the system. Our facilities maintenance division, you can see a few photos here. The one on the left, we're cleaning the restrooms in Tower Beach, kind of giving them like a yearly, I guess, soft wash, clean down. The one next to that we're installing a heater in one of the guardhouses. You'll see where the blue paint is. They're just freshening up some of the line striping and parking thermo at Tower Beach. And then the photo on the right are staff members fixing one of the roadway lights coming into the Sea Pines gate. Just again, just a couple ideas of the things they do. This, I don't want to say it's a catch-all, but a lot of things that just kind of come up. That's what these guys work on throughout the day. And they do a lot of inspections, making sure everything's working and safe for community members. So on top of our in-house staff members, we also have some contracted services, and I'll go through these too, so kind of give a rough idea of what these services entail. One of them is our tree care. Another is road and leisure trail repair and maintenance, mosquito control, lagoon trimming, and grounds and landscaping. So for our tree care contracted services, we trim and remove hazardous limbs over leisure trails, roadways, and beach walks. We respond to any storm or emergency removals as directed, remove dead or diseased trees as needed, trim vegetation in lagoon to improve flow of stormwater systems, and tree mitigation and replanting to help preserve, restore, and enhance forest. So again, we call it tree care, not tree removal, because our goal isn't to remove trees. We want to make sure trees are healthy. We're doing fertilization of trees as well. So really, we're just trying to preserve the natural beauty Sea Pines has. Road and leisure trail repair and maintenance. We inspect and maintain approximately 66 miles of asphalt roadway, 17 miles of leisure trails. This division will also do concrete beach walk repairs and roadway striping and stop bars, which we actually have some roadway stop bars scheduled for this week to get freshening up. So our next presentation, I'll have a few photos of that just to give an idea of what we do with those. Our mosquito control division. So this is a contracted service, but we also have a staff member in-house that helps out with this as well. But we always just want to make sure we can suppress the nuisance as much as possible, use the safest, most economical, and most effective means available. We do surveillance of adult and larval mosquitoes, control of larval mosquitoes through application of larvicides, which are typically mosquito dunks, control of adult mosquitoes through the process of aerosol spraying to eradicate adult mosquitoes, and we do work in conjunction with local authorities to assist and treat as needed. Our lagoon trimming, you may have seen some of these folks in the lagoons recently. We've actually done quite a few weeks of this early this year. So as we know, Sea Pines is a low, flat landscape where residents depend on interconnected drainage system to remove excess water after storm events. Vegetation structures along a canal right away may end up in the canal and cause blockages around downstream water control structures. In turn, these obstructions could prevent water from properly draining and could result in flooding. So that being said, CSA maintenance staff also has to have clear access to canals for routine maintenance, repair, and debris removal. And during times of disaster or emergency recovery, access becomes even more critical as recovery teams have to navigate through the canal system to perform emergency maintenance tasks. So we want to make sure that we have access to these canals and that there's not any hanging vegetation that could fall in or block any of the water coming through them. So that's why we're doing this. And if y'all see a boat out there cutting stuff, they're not cutting anything major. We're just doing minor trimming. The last contracted division I want to touch base on is our grounds maintenance and landscaping. Many of y'all may see Brightview around the community, and they are responsible for the grounds maintenance for CSA. And some of their major responsibilities are turf care, which is mowing, overseeding, and fertilization, tree and shrub care, which is fertilization, pruning, and shaping, irrigation maintenance, seasonal flower display beds, litter and debris removal, and roadside and leisure trail blowing. And that is just kind of a quick update on what our maintenance department does. Okay, I just stopped the screen share. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Anybody have any questions?
Bob Gossett, I think does.
Is that Bob? Is it Bob got his hand up? Oh, yeah, Bob. Okay, I see it now. Bob, do you have a question?
Unmute Bob.
Unmute Bob.
Unmute if you do. He may have accidentally hit it then.
Yeah, might.
Here I am. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Things aren't cooperating. No questions. My bad.
Okay.
okay. Let me mention.
Tom Sharp has.
Does Tom have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Jared, excellent work. I believe the community is looking very beautiful. I have a question. I guess, Jared, whenever I ask Jared to, I text him to things I see as I drive around, and he gets on those right away. I appreciate that, Jared. And I realize I'm abusing the system. So my question is to you and perhaps to Stephanie, do we have a routine reminder or process perhaps in our weekly newsletter that would alert our property owners to how to put in a job request or report a situation? And is that used a lot? Or could that be improved, I guess, or promoted more would be my question.
Believe it or not, it is used a lot. We get, I'd say probably 75 to 80% of our requests come through email or through the portal on our website.
Okay.
Not a bad idea. Maybe we do send a reminder just to let people know that that we do offer that through our website. So I will work with Stephanie and see if that's something that we want to send out. But yeah, majority of ours definitely come through our website and emails. And I will say, thankfully, we have a wonderful staff, and majority of these guys have been here for a long time. Throughout their travels, there's a lot of things they're seeing and reporting to us as well. So, I'd say we're probably a pretty even mix of proactive inspections or guys noticing things versus a reactive. Because we can't be everywhere, obviously, but there are a lot of things that our guys are out and reporting to us as well. So,
yeah. Well, thank you. I think your team's doing a spectacular job. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Just a comment to the community. It was not until a couple of years ago that I became aware of the extent of the drainage that these lagoons that we have go through us handle. It's all the way from Caligny and down Palmetto Bay at Publix. It drains through our community. The process of regulating the water levels, the lagoons, the ebb and flow of the tides to wash out the lagoons and things is a very complex thing. It has to be tended to, because if you fail, you lose vegetation, you lose oxygen and you get algae, you get all kind of things, plus the drainage, the general drainage effect. There's a whole series of devices that helps to control those that goes as a part of this. It's amazing, because I always thought years ago when I came that the lagoons were just a thing to be attractive and to add some water. I didn't realize the utilitarian purpose of it. Yep. Secondly, let me remind people of something that CSA offers. If you need mulch, to the extent that maintenance has mulch on hand, and they do a lot of mulching, they will provide you with that mulch. You contact them and they'll handle it. It depends on the demands, and there are times of the year that there are greater demands and not, and there's mulch or not. But you should avail yourself of that if it's not to the same grade of mulch as you would buy elsewhere. It's not as pure or whatever, but it very well suffices for yard cover and things like that. So if you're not availing yourself of that and you're paying for it somewhere, they don't spread it for you now. They just don't. So just be aware, but that is a service. Thank you, Jared.
Yep, thank y'all.
All right, next we go to
We can go back to Russell.
go back to Russell. Yes, excuse me. I'm told that Russell now has gotten the technology fixed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we're going to go ahead and share the presentation here this morning. Okay, can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much and appreciate your patience to work through this glitch here this morning, but just wanted to share a few quick thoughts and regarding our infrastructure, and certainly want to again thank all the property owners for their understanding and patience while we're performing this work, particularly along the South Sea Pines Drive in South Beach, and most recently along Lighthouse Lane Phase 1. You know, it's an arduous process. It's an intensive process. There's a lot of destruction of road and landscape along the way, and then but we're glad to bring these projects in here for a landing on time this spring and before the tournament kicks off. So again, just want to share a few slides here this morning with you. Sea Pines Drive, what we refer to as Phase 5, the final phase of Sea Pines Drive, terminating at Land's End. If you haven't had a chance, I encourage you owners to stop down and take a look at the enhancements that have been made both below ground and above ground. Most recently, we've completed our landscaping of the area. We're still working on some final touches and repairs and in the coming weeks as we polish off the project and again before the tournament. But if you had not had a chance, please do so and stop down in the South Beach area and take a look. Just again sharing some photos there this morning of the improvements and along the road, and you'll see these new islands as you enter the South Beach area with landscaping. Our prime contractor just finished all the paving operations as well in recent weeks here. So again, it's really has come together nicely here in South Beach. Sharing another project we've been working on over the last few weeks. Our surveying teams have been along Greenwood Drive for about almost 2.5 miles of roadway, surveying this area for future improvements to come, both in stormwater and resurfacing the roadway from Plantation and Greenwood Drive to Greenwood and Sea Pines intersection. So we're again completing that work, and we're going to be getting started on engineering here as well in the coming weeks. Just a reminder on upcoming phase of Lighthouse Lane, Phase 2, which coincides with the closure of the Harbortown Golf Links here in May. We will be installing a new drainage pipe and a new outfall structure across the Harbortown Links 18th fairway. This is critical to the drainage, stormwater drainage in that area, Sea Pines. There are multiple outfalls along this in Lighthouse Lane in this area, but this is the main one going across the golf course that pushes that stormwater out to Calabogie Sound. And again, it's going in May and continues through the month of May into June. And it's unusual that we'll be working during that time frame, but it's critical that we are, as the golf course will be closed. So we're again working closely with the Sea Pines Resort to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Planned projects that we have, the Ivy Road Leisure Trail project that's been in the works. We now have tentatively scheduled this project after the tournament before Memorial Day to break ground. We'll be working closely with our contractor again to fine tune that scheduling. But there will be a new leisure trail along with resurfacing the immediate area of Club Course Drive from Greenwood Drive to the intersection of Club Course and Governor's Road. So again, that work is slated to kick off here soon. And then the Otter Road and Fawn Lane Improvement Project is scheduled for this fall. Is going to be a intensive project to replace all the stormwater drainage throughout those roads in the Otter Road area, as well as milling and resurfacing all that roadway. Again, that's kicking off this fall and expecting that to continue right into the early spring as there's substantial drainage pipe to be replaced, as well as stormwater ditch work to further improve the drainage in that area. That concludes my presentation this morning. Glad to take any questions.
Any questions, Russell?
Russell, it looks awesome down the South Beach. That's a really, really beautiful project.
Thank you very much, sir.
Keep the work going. I think everybody appreciates, what's going on and what we're doing to the, our infrastructure and improving and doing what's been delayed for many, many years. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Finance and Administration, Victoria, you want to come down here so you be seen?
Good morning, everyone. I always have to start off with the audit. The auditors were here last week on site. Everything was fine. There was no exceptions. We're continuing that process. Everything is going very smoothly. Out front here, they have started distributing the hang tags for the heritage. So if you live in the harbor town and are affected by the tournament and the road closures, come and get your hang tags before it gets really too crowded in here. And finally, I have some exciting news. We have been very quietly testing, taking credit cards at the gate. And it is going great. So in fact, we looked it up on Saturday, we issued 135 passes via credit card without any backup. So that's 11% of the total passes and with no advertising. And we're just very quietly trying to make sure that this is going to work. So it's about time. It's 2025. And so we really taking, it's a little square machine. And thanks to the Salty Dog for assisting us with this procedure. It's a square machine that the officers have. They bring it right up to the car. They don't need to hold the card. They just tap it, swipe it, and they're off. And that's the pass prints out. That's their receipt. Off they go. We do have a small convenience fee associated with this, and that is passed on to the past purchasers. This is exciting. So again, it's just test mode at the Greenwood Gate in the pay lane. We're going to implement starting probably next week at the Ocean Gate. So this is exciting. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I think that is exciting
I
news,
do
and it's great to see the percentage that are using it without any advertising.
Right, and the officers like it down there at the gate. They're all very receptive to it. The past purchasers are receptive to it. So let's hope this continues.
Any questions of Victoria? Anyone? Oh, thank you, Victoria. All right, operations and special projects, David Henderson. There you are.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a very brief report for you all this morning. As you may have seen from the community email, we had a successful prescribed burn this past Thursday. We were into 3 subblocks that were in the area around the shell ring in the forest preserve. 2 of those subblocks had never been burned before. So it's always a milestone to get in and to burn a subblock for the first time. One of the subblocks came right up to the edge of the shell ring. And while I was over there monitoring that section of the fire line, I recalled a conversation that I had with Dr. Matt Singer, the archaeologist that led that shell ring research from 2015 to 2019. And Dr. Singer had told me that the foundation of the shell ring was actually put down 4,800 years ago. And they found evidence through their studies that there was fire that had moved across the foundation of that shell ring. It is well known that Native Americans routinely used prescribed fire for a variety of reasons. And it was just kind of a cool moment and a connection as we were trying to be good stewards of the land, that as we were having this fire Thursday right up to the edge of the ring, that we weren't the first to do that over there. Somebody beat us by almost 5,000 years. We are monitoring the weather and are looking at the possibility of doing another prescribed burn tomorrow. We're keeping an eye on the forecast, and the decision will not be made until tomorrow morning. But we are into kind of the heart of the prescribed burning season over the next couple months. So just keep an eye out on your for community emails and the other information that Stephanie is able to put out. But we are hoping to do a burn tomorrow. And if tomorrow doesn't work out, then we'll be looking at other opportunities over the next couple months. I'd like to end with a party in the Pines, which is Saturday, April 5th. This is our spring fundraiser for the Forest Preserve. Ticket sales are going really well. And in fact, Stephanie told me we have, as of today, already surpassed where we were at the day of the event last year. We'd like to thank the Salty Dog for their incredible menu offering that they have. If you haven't looked at it, I would encourage you to do so and to consider attending and supporting the Forest Preserve Saturday, April 5th, 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you, David. Any questions of David? Let me comment to the community that if you don't go to the Forest Reserve, if you don't do it, you need to. It's one of the top 3 attractions in Hilton Head. It's definitely one of the top attractions in Sea Pines. I go over there regularly. I normally see a pretty good number of people doing everything from walking, driving their cars through, some trying to fish, some just visiting, sitting on benches and things of that nature. It is a great resource. It is a great attraction. I would encourage those of you who don't go over there on any kind of regular basis to go. I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of serenity there. So when you need a little peace of mind, what I've always done as a young kid, but I had other woods, I'd go sit in the woods and listen to the birds and animal wildlife chirping and things. And it's very relaxing for you. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you take advantage of this opportunity in Sea Pines. It's great to know the things about the shell ring and the history and the data that's all been discovered and found. And we will be continuing to try to enhance the Forest Preserve and make it even more attractive. Thank you, David. Next, go to safety, security, and transportation. Joe Count.
Good morning, everyone. What I'm going to talk about this morning is just a little bit about the heritage, the upcoming heritage. Obviously, that those of you who've been around a long time know this is a very busy time of year for me and in my department. We're less than 4 weeks out. What we did this past last Monday, we hosted the annual security briefing for all the multi-agencies that are involved with the heritage. I work with the resort we provide lunch. John Farrell's really terrific also over there with golf, to the handful that come down from all over the state. These people come from all over the state to come to this briefing. It's a very important one because it's the only time during the year that every agency gets together to go ahead and plan and prepare for the heritage. And I appreciate all the help that I get from them. It makes it a really good experience, and for the people that are involved in pulling the security off for that tournament. Just to give you an idea of some of the agencies, I talked with some people. I don't think many people realize how many agencies are actually involved in this. And I'm going to reel off a few here for you just to tell you. Obviously, our own Sea Pine Security, Beaver County Sheriff's Office, Beaver County Fire Department, the Emergency Management Group with them, South Carolina Highway Patrol, State Law Enforcement, Town of Hilton Head, Coastal Security, Department of Energy, Federal Bureau of Investigation, DNR, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and National Weather Service. And those are people that were at this briefing. That's how many agencies are involved in this thing to pull this off. The Heritage Tournament is growing in popularity. It remains a signature event this year, which means we get, the best golfers. Interest in it is high, and it's a no-cut event. So we also had, so that briefing went well. We had a great turnout. And during that, what we do is we supply them each with a copy of every year we have to do a new security plan, specifically for Heritage Week. It's a booklet that we kind of put together, and it's we put the pro from last year that won it, and it's an extensive document that they all go over and take to their people. But the idea is we update things in that that we see from year to year, or take out things that we didn't think were necessary. So those are just things that we do in that briefing. It's very important. Friday, we had a briefing with PGA Tort Security. That's a separate briefing. They come in, and that's more specific to the Sheriff's Office, myself, Captain Coleman, Coastal Security, and the Heritage folks to really map out some of the improvements that we made from last year to this year, and then what some things that the tour is concerned about that we need to be prepared to respond to or be aware of this coming year for the tournament. Again, a reminder that Easter Sunday, it ends on Easter Sunday this year, so we expect it to be fairly busy. And I want to mention a thing about the employees here at Sea Pines and what they do that week. It's just a shout out to them, so you all understand. Not only do we have to provide and have our part of security for the Heritage, which is very time consuming for our manpower, but we also still have to provide the security for the visitors, guests, and owners here in Sea Pines. It's not just everybody's at the Heritage. We have to provide that level of security that we provide year round also for the residents here in Sea Pines and for the resort and everyone else. And what that requires is basically my staff doesn't get vacation that week. There's none approved. There's none approved the following week because everybody's exhausted and they all want to be off the next week. So just my own observation, last year was my first Heritage, and I spent the entire time on course, and I was out beginning with all the troops and ended the day with them. And I know myself personally put in close to 95 hours that week alone, and they all do the same. So we just don't provide security for Heritage. We provide security to Sea Pines residents and everyone, visitors and guests that are here. So that's an important thing. And they're exhausted. It's a long week, but they're all, part of this program, and they really enjoy doing it. It's a fun week. It's a fast week. We'll be here before you know it, and we're looking forward to it. We have a lot of fun. And with that, that's going to end my briefing. If anybody's got any questions or comments, be glad to take them.
Anyone? Any questions? Steve?
Yes, I just wanted to thank Joe for so much work going into the security and the Heritage. And it's important, as you know, we've got tens of thousands of people out there, and it's extremely important to keep everyone safe. So we appreciate coordinating all those agencies you mentioned, and everything that goes into keeping everyone safe and secure.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay, with that, we'll go to the Traffic Task Force. I'll call on Cliff Mackin for the gates and signage.
Okay, yeah, we are continuing to focus on significantly reducing slowdowns and turnarounds. And as we reported at our last meeting, we've produced some temporary signage that was being monitored, and then we're moving into making those signage improvements more permanent to get people in the correct lanes before they get to the gate. So that's been a big effort. And then as reported as well, there's an effort underway to identify a cashless software solution. And then overall, we continue to coordinate with the efforts that Tom's going to give us an update on with the South Island traffic circle improvements and the Greenwood Drive improvements that would go along with that. So that's my update, and
Okay.
glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? And one of the things I think that's in the plan for the signage is to alert people that they can use credit cards, early on before they get right to the gate. And we're talking about some signages of a little higher height, so they'll be easier and more visible, and some improvements like that. So hopefully you'll start noticing those as we make those improvements. Next will be the traffic report. Tom Char.
Yes, good morning. Cliff, very good. Cliff's maybe making a little more progress on congestion than the traffic group is getting into Sea Pines. Let me just go back a little because we may have some new viewers. The problem we're solving is two: safety on Greenwood with the left-hand turns as you come in or exit the gate. And the big problem is congestion getting into Sea Pines Circle. So those are the two problems or opportunities, if you want to be more proactive, that we're looking at. But honestly, I think the big problem is timing. We've been working on this, we or the town, been working on this for probably 8 years. And we're not doing real well in terms of getting a long-term solution. We've been putting on some Band-Aids to try to help, but we need a long-term solution, both for Sea Pines community and the whole end of the South Island. So we have come together with one project I'll talk about. The background, just for folks that may not be aware, is that CSA manages Greenwood Avenue from the gate, that little piece out to the circle. So that's a CSA highway, if you will. The circle itself and the 3 other legs coming into it are state highways managed by SCDOT, but in cooperation with the town and a management agreement, the town actually manages the circle and those 3 legs. I'm saying that because it gets a little complicated with a lot of parties involved in trying to find a solution, both to the safety and congestion, to me, which are engineering solutions. The engineers will work that out. Traffic engineers are trained to do that. The bigger problem is timing, and that is getting some solution to this. What we have, because of the different parties involved, we have come up with a 1 project scenario. And we're calling that SITSIP, South Island Traffic Circle Improvement Plan. And what that does is it marries a Greenwood engineering solution to a Sea Pines engineering circle solution. Instead of having CSA doing a project with engineers and the town doing a project on Sea Pines Circle with engineers and trying to put those together, we have been advocating to have 1 project, 1 engineering firm engineer the solution together at one time. So that is the SITSIP project. Now, we have been progressing along, and there are two options to manage or solve the SITSIP project. And those two options, this is a long-term solution. This is not signage and things like that. This is long-term solution where we actually will redesign the pavement and traffic flow. The two options are that we've been working on is that we would turn this over to SCDOT, since they have the circle and 3 legs. And we would ask them to assign a project manager and do the engineering, permitting, and construction as they do on other highway projects throughout the state. The state has agreed in principle that they would be willing to take this journey with us. So that is, we're working on some details. That would be one option. The second option is basically to continue along the path we've been on for the past few years. And that is that the town would manage the circle, and we would interact, CSA would interact with the town on the Greenwood portion. Again, using the same engineering firm, but we'd have 2 parties trying to manage this. In terms of the town, the option where the town would be managing this project, I can report that there is renewed emphasis by the town to make this a bigger priority. As you recall in previous reports, the town had been holding this in a priority position or 3 or 4 based on their transportation projects on the island. During the strategic planning session, be 2 weeks ago, we had several conversations, and I believe it's coming to a higher priority. However, as you all know, the Gateway Corridor is still a huge priority with the town to manage that in whatever form that goes forward. So those are the 2 options. We are working with the state and the town. When I say we, that's CSA, to determine which option is the best option. And again, I think what we're looking at is how can we get this done sooner and later? This is a 2-year construction project if we were to start tomorrow. In terms of permitting, funding, actually doing the actual construction. So whenever we get the go-ahead, we select an option, we put a team in place. It will be a 2-year step from that point forward. So that's the outline I have, and certainly can take any questions, please.
Okay. Anyone? Just to summarize a little bit, because this is a very complex, complicated thing because of all the parties involved with the ownership of the roads by the state and the management of the roads by the town, of being in the town, et cetera. The process is very complicated, but we remain in contact with all the appropriate representatives of the government. We had a long session with the town, which the mayor came, and we've talked with the engineers. They presented things, we discussed topics, and that was just last week. So things are in process. They never move as fast as we would like. It's just the way the process is, and I wish it were quicker, but just wanted to add that footnote, Tom, to what you said.
Yep.
Any questions or comments from anyone else? Thank you. We now move to the treasurer reports. Leanne?
Okay. Good morning. The finance group has been very busy this quarter, as Victoria mentioned. Wanted to thank you to our property owners for making their payments on their dues and to the rental units for paying their fees. The Finance Committee met last week and heard updates on a number of matters. The one that I need to bring to the board's attention is in your materials. and it is a 2025 budget amendment for the major repairs and replacements, the MR&R. The total budget for each of these line items was previously approved in our November 2024 meeting by the board. These amounts that are listed on the page, the 2025 budget amendment, are being rolled forward from 2024 to 2025 as the activities and the monies were not expended prior to the end of 2024. So there are no changes in the totals by project. This is specifically timing related expenditures. For reference, 10.1 million was approved for the total in 2024, and about 7.5 million was actually expended. I'll ask for any questions related to the budget amendment and then move for a vote. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Comments? Okay.
Okay, I'll make the motion that Seapine's Community Service Associates Board of Directors, as approved by the Executive Committee, approves the budget amendment to the CSA budget 2025 as presented.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Any opposed, like sign? Thank you. Leanne?
Okay. The next item is a discussion of the three-year capital plan, and I wanted to give you some updates and some things to think about. The Finance Committee also listened to a presentation of the first draft of the three-year capital plan, which encompasses 2026 through 2028. We expect to present the plan to the board in May, and obviously it'll move through the Finance Committee and the Executive Committee prior to that. A significant amount of work is expected to be completed in 2025, as Russell indicated in his presentation. And if completed during that time frame, spending from 2021 through 2025 will be $26.3 million. Estimated spending in 2026 to 2028 is approximately $18.3 million, for a total of approximately $44.6 million by 2028. That's highlights of what you'll hear much more about. But let me give you a few thoughts. Of the projects listed in the referendum materials, so we'll go back and we talk about this $51 million list of projects. Only one project would carry over into 2029 for 2.7 million, and that means 91% of the dollars will have been spent by the end of 2028. That's 7 years of projects from when we started collecting the critical infrastructure assessment in 2022. The projects and the estimated costs have been generated using data from our vendor and will continue to be refined and benchmarked. So these are all work in progress estimates. The second thing I wanted to bring up is one large unknown in the 10-year plan relates to Greenwood Drive and the allocated amounts of 1.9 million for the work to be done between Seapine Circle and the clubhouse. And until we have a better idea of what the solution is for the gate and for Greenwood Drive, that amount has been set aside and not included in the estimated expenditures. The third item I want to bring up, and we'll have more dialogue about, is the pace of spending in 2025 will be much faster than the dollars available between the carryover of the infrastructure funds and the current collections. The Finance and Executive Committees will be discussing several alternatives related to the pace of spending versus funding. And I expect to bring more details to the Finance Committee and the Executive Committee, as well as the board, in May of 2025 on this three-year capital plan. That ends my remarks.
Thank you, very good report. Any questions, comments? Tom, you had your hand up?
Yes, Leanne, thank you very much. What an inspiring direction to have a three-year capital plan. That warms my heart. But that is so wonderful. And I know you and your committee and the staff have worked so hard, and it's a complex area to try to make proper forecast into the future, especially with construction dollars and given the situation that we're at the end of the highway and it's hard to get folks to come out here and do our work. So I really appreciate the work that you've done and set a very professional direction for us. Very important area. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's
Thank you, Don.
very much a team effort.
Yes.
Well, you're the leader of the team, so, well, I say that, you're the leader of the money team.
Yeah.
The leader of the team is right here.
Right. Yeah.
If there are no other questions or comments, then we'll go to unfinished business. I know of none. So we'll move to new business. The first item, these are a couple of required things for we need to do. We need to appoint the nominating committee for Class A and B. And I will make a motion for the approval of SPCSA nominating committee members, Class A and B for 2025. Resolved, the Sea Pines Community Services, Inc. Board of Directors approves the appointment of SPCAA nominating committee members, Class A 2005. The chair, David Perdue, committee members, Bill Johnson and Andrea Tarbo. And then Class B will be Tim Stearns, chair, and Don Sigmund. So with that, I appoint them and ask for approval of it. I move approval of those people for nominating committee.
So moved.
Okay, is it, well, you'll take that as a second.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion or anything? This is a ritual thing we have to do by this time. All in favor, raise your hands. Any opposed, same sign. The next item that we have are two encroachment agreements. One is at 68 Baynard Cove, and it's resolved, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it, that the approval of the encroachment agreement for that be according to the recommendations as that were finalized by email to the board. As I mentioned to the members who are watching this, these things are presented to the board so they have a chance to look at them and go through them, and they make a preliminary vote which has to be ratified. So I will move the adoption of the resolution to approve the one at 68 Baynard Cove Road.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed, like sign. The next encroachment agreement is at 29 Wren Drive. And that is the same situation, the drawings of recommendations of management and so forth. The board had the discussion and by email approved doing this. So I will ask that we ratify that approval. I so move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you. I have no further business to come before this meeting. We have a few questions.
We got one more. Sorry. Wind report.
Where is it?
Same page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it rolled over to the next page on mine. Thank you. Okay, there is one more encroachment agreement. It's building 1264 7 Windjammer Court. And it's the same comments apply to that. I so move we ratify approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Thank you. Now that we've done it all, I think that's the last thing on the page I see now. Okay. Well, I'm going to go immediately to the questions. We only have a handful of them, and that came in either before the meeting or during the meeting. And so Steve, you had a question?
Steve, please.
David, I just wanted to make an announcement. We're celebrating a important milestone this week. And this week is the 20th anniversary of the Goodwin family and Riverstone Group's purchase of Sea Pines Resort. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank property owners for their continued and ongoing support. It's been tremendous. We enjoy all the support that we get from property owners. I also wanted to thank CSA for all that we've accomplished over the past 20 years. And we're looking forward to the next 20 years and to the future. So that's what we just want to make an announcement about this milestone that we're reaching this week.
Yeah, and Steve, there's a video out that I know you put, and what remarkable 20-year look back to the various places throughout the community. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
It's something that everybody should take a look at.
Well, I think it shows some of the progress we've made and these amenities that are available to our property owners and members and visitors as well. And it's been a tremendous time of reinvestment, and we can thank the Goodwin family for that. Hopefully, more to come in the future, and we certainly appreciate all the support.
Thank you. Any more after meeting comments before we go to questions? Okay, I'm going to go to questions in the order that they've received. Question from Tim McGowan. Will you be releasing all calls to security recording short-term rental issues to the town of Hilton Head so they can track the issues for their rental licenses?
That's a very good question, and it's a bit of a complicated question, so I'll do my best to answer it. The answer is no. We are not going to release our private member information to the town of Hilton Head, because when we receive a call for service or from a member about another member, that information is private to the membership and the CSA as an organization. So what we are encouraging folks to do, our members to do, when they have an issue with a short-term rental property, is to call us first, because we're always on duty 24/7, whether it's security or whether we have another staff member that needs to address the issue. We'll go out and address it immediately, or send us an email or use our portal to notify us if it's not a truly a life safety issue. But we'll give it very quick attention, because those calls come to our central dispatch here in Sea Pines versus the town of Hilton Head. Their calls go to a call center and they're logged, and they deal with them whenever their staff is on duty, which I think is just from 8 to 5 during the week. But because our members, their information is privileged to us, we're not going to release that to the town. So what we're asking our members to do, if you log a call to us about a short-term rental situation, once you've done that, please go to the town's website and let them know that there was an issue related to short-term rental, and that way they've got their information as well. It creates a bit of a burden for us, for our members, but in terms of membership privacy and our information privacy amongst our members, we believe that's the best approach for us to do that, because we don't want to begin sharing our private member information outside the membership.
Thank you. Next question is from David Levin. At the last meeting, you noted the changes made to the gate agreement. Please explain why the board felt those changes were necessary. Well, when the parties to the gate agreement changed in 2024, one of the parties that was at the gate agreement in 2018, actually their interest was bought by the Goodwin Group, i.e. the Sea Pines Resort. So the parties to the gate agreement as of 2024 felt it appropriate to make changes and to update that. So all I can say is that it was just an update, and it's what the parties who remained to the agreement decided was appropriate. I have a question from Linda Fahrenkopf. Now that the 2018 gate agreement has been determined to be illegal, what is the plan for recouping the monies paid out both directly and indirectly? Well, there is an incorrect fact in that question. There has been no court determination or decision or ruling that the 2018 gate agreement was illegal. So there's no way I can answer the question, because it's based on that fact. Question from Gary Connor. Won't read the whole thing, but basically what he's asking for, they're bikers and they want to see every stop, he and his wife want to see every stop sign at the crossovers to be wrapped in tiny red lights so they're not annoying, yet they will get cars to hopefully slow down and make safer for all walkers and bikers to cross the road. Will you take this action?
Mr. Chair, I'd recommend that we send that request to the CIMT committee or our Community Maintenance and Infrastructure Committee to take a look at, to see if there are additional things we should do at those crosswalks.
Thank you. Since the meeting started, we received 2 more questions from Alex Cruden. Did the disclosure of the previously secret gate agreement cause any harm to Sea Pines? If so, what was hurt? I do not believe there was any harm caused to Sea Pines. As to the nature of the agreement and the revealing of the agreement, you need to understand that this is a different board. As the saying goes, there's a new sheriff in town. We are not keeping things like this away from the public. We are disclosing these things, and any documents that we have that are appropriate, that do not give away private information or invade anybody's rights of privacy, we are prepared to disclose those. So it's a whole changing situation, but I don't know what was heard, if anything. Next question from Alex is, how many lawyers did CSA pay for in the case to keep the agreement a secret? Well, this case was handled by our insurance company and the insurance company's attorney. The insurance company paid our attorney. There was consultation with our normal attorney, Bert Foreman, and there was some fees paid in that. I don't know how much that was. It couldn't have been much because the insurance attorney paid the entire amount. For your information, there was an award of attorney fees by the court to the winning party, and that it was paid by the insurance company, except what we call a retention amount of $15,000. So I guess if you want to include that, we paid $15,000 plus some consulting fees from Burr Foreman. The insurance company paid the rest. I hope that answers your question. I have no further questions. Anybody have any comments? Any questions? Well, I thank you. I appreciate all the time. I hope that those listening got the benefit of some information. Again, we stand ready. Please stop me when you see me and talk to me. I enjoy that. And I hope you have a good rest of the spring. Thank you. Goodbye.